Hello Manchester United fans. Marcus Rashford is embarrassing Ruben Amorim with Aston Villa form after Man United exile. Marcus Rashford scored his first goals in Aston Villa's FA Cup win over Preston, and he has been reborn in the Midlands after he was booted out of his boyhood club Manchester United by Ruben Amorim. Marcus Rashford's starring role in Aston Villa's FA Cup win over Preston should have made uncomfortable viewing for Ruben Amorim. Of all the clangers Amorim has dropped during his short reign so far at Manchester United, letting Rashford join Villa on loan stands out as his biggest. Rashford has been reborn at Villa, and the striker has bagged 2 goals and 4 assists in his 10 appearances to win back his England place after a year on the sidelines. Unai Emery is clearly getting the best out of him. Thomas Tuchel has no problems with him, and Erik ten Hag got him to produce his best season in 2022-23 when he scored 34 goals for United and England. Ironically, Rashford started well under Amorim and scored the first goal of his United reign, as well as a double against Everton to take his tally to 3 in his first 3 appearances under the Portuguese. Amorim dropped him for the Manchester derby in mid-December, claiming he was not giving his maximum. The breakdown in relations goes back to before the Everton game on December 1st, when Rashford reportedly broke Amorim's pre-match rules by going out 2 days before the match. Amorim will rightly argue that he cannot let any individual undermine his authority, especially when he was just weeks into the job. But United have suffered too many of these instances when talented players are offloaded because their faces no longer fit, and Jadon Sancho and Antony spring to mind. Amorim's fallout with Rashford began a domino effect for United, and with each development, the situation got worse. The departure of Rashford weakened United's feeble attack, and Rasmus Højlund only scored his first goal in 22 games in their last match against the mighty Leicester. Rashford was supposed to go to Serie A or Barcelona, but they could not cover enough of his wages, and instead he is at Villa, making United and Amorim look bad. If Amorim had signed another forward in January, that would have helped, but instead he spent what money he had on left wingback Patrick Dorgu. A coach's job is to get the best out of the players at his disposal, yet Amorim felt within just a couple of weeks of taking over he could not work with Rashford. The only silver lining to his very dark cloud for United is that they should have more suitors for Rashford in the summer. He will be at his peak at 27 and have 3 more years on his United contract. There is no way back for him at his boyhood club, and Amorim's authority would be fatally weakened if he returned in the summer. Man United ready to pay £48 million to sign absolutely magic forward. Manchester United want to reunite Ruben Amorim with Sporting Lisbon forward Francisco Trincao this summer and are ready to pay his €58 million £48 million release clause, according to Fishages. The Red Devils are believed to be targeting Trincao as a reinforcement on the wing after their pursuit of Giovanni Quenda collapsed, and are already making moves for the Portugal international's arrival. United could target a new wide player this summer, as Marcus Rashford, Antony and Jadon Sancho's futures are all unclear. The trio of wingers are expected to depart Old Trafford after the season, which could potentially pave the way for Amorim's reunion with a familiar face at the club. Man United keen on Francisco Trincao, willing to meet his £48 million release clause. According to Fishages, Amorim's relationship with Trincao could be key in the 25-year-old's move to the Premier League this summer, as the Portuguese manager knows how to get the most out of the forward. Trincao, praised as absolute magic, played under Amorim for over 2 seasons at Sporting and revived his career after underwhelming spells at Barcelona and Wolverhampton Wanderers. He was also important in Sporting's title-winning campaign, scoring 9 goals and providing 6 assists in 31 league appearances under the current Man United boss. Man United are anticipating a busy summer transfer window and are believed to be prioritizing player departures first. According to Gimsport sources, the Red Devils hope for Sancho, Antony, Rashford and Tyrell Malacia to complete permanent moves away, alongside Casemiro, who will enter the final 12 months of his contract. Meanwhile, the veteran quartet of Christian Eriksen, Victor Lindelof, Johnny Evans and Tom Heaton are set to leave as free agents when their contracts expire. Marcus Rashford admission from Man United icon speaks volumes. It's sad to see. Marcus Rashford has returned to form for Aston Villa as he bagged a brace in their FA Cup quarter-final win at Preston, and former Manchester United defender Jaap Stam has been left disappointed. Yapstam has expressed his dismay at seeing Marcus Rashford in an Aston Villa shirt, conceding that the forward is unlikely to ever be considered a Manchester United legend. The England international left his boyhood club for the first time in his career in January, joining Unai Emery's side on loan for the remainder of the season. Rashford, 27, has been ousted from the United squad by head coach Ruben Amorim since December, following questions about his work ethic and attitude. He was permitted to leave the club, which included a £40 million buy option should Villa wish to make the move permanent in the summer. Despite only netting 7 times in all competitions for United this season, Rashford has found form with the Midlands club, providing a handful of assists to date, although he failed to score in his first 9 games. However, the forward finally broke his 120-day goalless streak on Sunday, bagging a brace in their 3-0 FA Cup quarter-final triumph over Preston North End. Even though his form has improved, earning him a recall to Thomas Tuchel's first England squad this month, it hasn't alleviated Stam's disappointment that he's no longer donning the Red Devils jersey. The United legend conceded that while Rashford was potentially on track to become a club icon, his inconsistent form and subsequent departure mean he no longer has the chance to cement his status as a great at the club he joined as a youngster. It's sad to see Marcus Rashford in an Aston Villa shirt because I thought he would be a very important player for Manchester United and stay for a very long time, lamented the Dutchman in a chat with MacTheVair.se. He is such a talented player and has all the credentials to be a top forward. He is creative, he can score goals, he can be a real danger. For me, Marcus Rashford cannot be considered a legend at Manchester United. I think he left too soon to be considered as one. When you look at all his seasons at the club and for how many he performed at his best, he had one season under Erik ten Hag in which they changed the style of play and he scored a lot of goals and was a danger to every defense he faced. He got a new contract and everybody expected his form to carry on, but to be considered a true United legend you have to show that form for 7, 8, or 9 seasons. That is the level you need to reach to be considered a legend. Stam questioned the reasons behind Rashford's exit, suggesting there's a possibility he wasn't prepared to sacrifice enough to maintain top form at United. I would have liked to see him have a big impact at United, having come through the academy and shown glimpses of his ability, but it turned out to be too hard for him. West Ham source reveals club stance on Man Utd-wanted defender. West Ham have revealed their stance on defender Jean-Claire Todibo, who was linked with a move to Manchester United yesterday. The Athletic reported that the Hammers had rejected the chance to flip Todibo by making an instant profit on the defender. The proposed deal would have seen West Ham activate a £35 million permanent transfer from Nice, only to sell him on immediately, with Manchester United believed to be the buying club. The transaction would have allowed West Ham to complete the deal with Nice, then sell the player on for a quick profit, with his registration moving almost instantly to Old Trafford. However, it was claimed the deal was scuppered when Todibo expressed his desire to remain at the London stadium. Claret and Hughes spoke to a top source at the club this morning, who told us that new manager Graham Potter had always intended to keep Todibo. "I don't know where you got that information from," the source said. "Todibo has always been a big part of our plans." Happy news all around, then, a player who wants to stay at West Ham and a club determined to keep him. The Hammers have also reiterated their intention to assess on-loan defender Naif Agurd in pre-season, with a view to using him in a back three, presumably alongside Max Kilman and Todibo.